how can we define higher order derivative? What is d2f dx square؟ هذه شو معناها؟ معناها derive twice with respect to x. معناها هذه you derive with respect to x the partial derivatives with respect to x. Okay, and we can also write it as fxx, 2 times partial derivative with respect to x. So we derive firstly with respect to x, and we derive again the partial derivatives obtained again with respect to x. So call it fxx, f11, d2f dx twice, and so on. The same thing we can define d2f twice with respect to y. Okay, اللي هي fyy. Or we can make a first derivative with respect to x and then a second derivative with respect to y. Well, make first derivative with respect to y and then derive with respect to x. fxy, fyx. هنا 1 2 2 1. يعني you derive partial derivative with respect to x and then you derive with respect to y. And in this case, it's second derivative, second partial derivative with respect to y and with respect to x. The good news is that they are commutative. So these two are the same. You start with x and then you derive with respect to y, or you start by y and then you derive by x, you will obtain the same result. So هنا يعطيك with respect to which variable you are deriving. So two derivative, one with respect to x, the second with respect to y. Two derivative, both with respect to x. Two derivative, both with respect to y. Let's see an example. Find the second partial derivative of fxy. So we have to find the second partial derivative. We have to start with the first partial derivative. So what is dxf? شو راح تعطيني dxf?
So 3x square.
Okay. So derivative of x cube هي 3x square plus
2x y cubed
okay, bravo.
minus 2y square.
Okay, do you agree, guys? No, false. And again, so this is false. So the derivative of x cube هي 3x square, okay. The derivative of that x vary, y is constant, is 2xy cube, okay. What is the derivative of minus 2y square? This is 0 because no x here. So this is dxy.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so be careful, this is false.
Okay.
What is dyf?
0
Okay, هذا 0 يروح بعدين
plus 3y
x2
square.
3y squared.
okay, x2 3y square or 3y square x2 or 3x2y square, okay.
Minus 4y.
Minus 4y, okay. So these are first partial derivatives. عندنا 2. لكن هو شو المطلوب؟ مطلوب second partial derivatives. So what are the second partial derivatives? عندنا second partial derivative with respect to x 2 times, second partial derivative with respect to y 2 times, or second partial derivative with respect to one time with respect to x and one time with respect to y, and these two are the same. يعني نبدأ بهذه. So how do we calculate d2f dx2? By deriving with respect to x this function اللي هي what is this derivative
6x plus 2y cube.
okay good so derive with respect to x dxf هذه الثانية d to f 2 times with respect to y إذا هنا لازم d dy of what هذه of dyf شو راح تعطينا
It will be 6y x squared minus 4.
هذه الحين إذا مرة x مرة y نبدأ ب x هي d dy of هذه of 3x square plus 2x y cube وهذه ايش تعطينا
0 plus
0 plus
3y
2x times 3y square
okay.
يعني 6xy square وهذه هي نفسها d to f dy dx you can check it okay so here we have 3 second partial derivatives d to f 2 times with respect to x d to f 2 times with respect to y or d to f 1 time with respect to x and y time with respect to y. And in the same way, we can define a third partial derivative, fourth, fifth, any order we want. So this is the theorem. This is interesting because fxy and fyx are the same. Okay, so no need to calculate both of them. Calculating one is
يبقى derivative of partial
derivative of
four
order
times
4 هنا d4
ما شاء الله.
x
Okay.
مرتين y مرة وz مرة. So we need the fourth partial derivative 2 times with respect to x, 1 time with respect to y, and 1 time with respect to z. So start with the first partial derivative with respect to x, fx. So this is a composition of two functions. So the chain rule تعطيني dx of the inner part times the derivative of sine اللي هي
Cosine 3x plus y.
cosine of this input. And what is dx of 3x plus yz?
3
3
plus 0.
plus 0. So 3 cosine 3x plus yz. This is the first partial derivative. Now the second partial derivative, fxx. So still with respect to x. So again, عندنا هي 3 dx. So it's a cosine of a function of x. So dx of 3x plus yz times, what is the derivative of cosine?
Minus sine.
Minus sine. Times, وهذه minus sine 3x plus yz. So after simplification, you obtain minus 3. And what is dx of 3x plus yz?
Will be 3.
It will be 3 times 3, so minus 9.
Yes.
Sine 3x plus yz. The third partial derivative. Now we'll derive with respect to y. So we'll obtain minus 9 dy of the inner part times the derivative of sine here. Cosine
Cosine
of 3x plus yz. So what is the derivative with respect to y of 3x plus yz?
0 plus
0 plus
z.
z, so minus 9z cosine 3x plus yz. And finally, the fourth one, fxxy, now with respect to z, is minus 9 constant dz of z times cosine 3x plus yz. And here it's a bit more complicated. ليش؟ لأنه عندنا derivative of a product of two functions dependent on z. هذه وهذه. وش قلنا؟ The derivative of the product
will be
f
1
prime g plus f g prime. Okay, so هنا and then تعطيني minus 9 dz of z
1
times cosine minus 9 z, and we derive the cosine. Okay, so we do it in two steps. First, derive this and then derive this. So finally, what is f x x y z? So here, what is dz of z?
1
1. So negative 9 cosine 3x plus yz minus 9 z. And what is the derivative of cosine of this? 13 dz of 3x plus yz times the derivative of cosine here. شفنا
minus
هنا minus sine. So the final result is negative 9 cosine 3x plus yz minus 9 z. What is the derivative with respect to z of 3x plus yz? 3x تروح yz تعطيني y الماينس هذا مع الماينس هذا plus sine 3x plus yz. And this is the result. Try to do it by yourself, to measure the difficulty and to practice and to understand how it works.